Greetings and a warm welcome to this week's edition of 401k Real Talk. This is Fred Barstein, contributing editor at wealthmanagement.com's RPA Omnichannel and CEO at Trout, TPSU, and 401k TV. I review all of this week's stories and select the most important and interesting ones, providing open, honest, and candid discussion you will not get anywhere else. So let's get real. First story. Moody's is the latest to sound the warning about the risk of private credit investing, citing transparency, liquidity, and underwriting issues, just as the Trump administration seems to be opening the door for private market investing. With growing competition, there is greater underwriting risk and perhaps less scrutiny by regulators. Meanwhile, the siren call of private equity investing in DC plans continues as more PE firms invest in advisory and record-keeping organizations, setting up potentially uncomfortable conflicts. Next story, a recent Cerulli report indicates opportunities for record keepers to offer advice to participants as 52% of mass affluent consider their provider the primary source. With greater access to data and more visibility with participants, record keepers may be in a better position to provide advice, especially through the growing use of managed accounts. Cerulli indicates that 63% of active DC participants do not have an advisor, which would mean that 35 million do, which is very hard to believe. That percentage is closer to 90%, all of which indicates great opportunities for providers and advisors alike. Next story. Speaking of advice and managed accounts, one of the largest providers, Edelman Financial Engines, with 287 billion, 600 employers, and 10 million participants, recently announced the hiring of Ralph Haberli as president of their institutional and retirement client group, covering their workplace and wealth management divisions. Haberli has a rich history in the DC market, most recently as president of the Cap Group's institutional retirement division and previously head of BlackRock's DCIO, which may help EFE better integrate with their retail advisory division, bringing together managed accounts and advisors to engage and serve participants, something that both RPA and RIA aggregators are exploring. Though likely not to intersect, EFE and Hub International, a major RPA aggregator, are both owned by the PE firm Hellman and Friedman. Next story, another day. Another story about a 401k lawsuit, this time in the form of a record-breaking $69 million settlement by the 350,000 United Healthcare beneficiaries who alleged that target dates managed by Wells Fargo had underperformed. While underperformance alone may not be enough, the lawsuit, which was filed in 2021, alleged that United Healthcare, the bank's health insurance, used the bank's fund to protect their corporate business interests, not the sole interest of participants. Finally, at a recent TPSU training program, a plan sponsor without an advisor asked the panel how to find one. More interesting was the question by another plan sponsor about whether she can trust her advisor. Specifically, she asked how could she know if that advisor was not tied or beholden to a record keeper, provider, or asset manager in some way. Read my recent wealthmanagement.com column about how fee decline and cross-selling is causing both advisors and providers to create potential conflicts of interest in endangered trust. Last but not least, this week's LinkedIn poll asked, have the volatile and unstable markets caused DC plan sponsors to slow down decisions about changing their providers or advisors? The answers were mixed. 35% did not think so, with the rest believing it has at least a bit of influence, with a comment by an advisor that fees and services are bigger drivers of change. So those are the most important stories from the past week. I listed a few others I thought were worth reading, covering SEC withdraws AI and ESG rules, the case for independent RPAs, more money withdrawn from health spending accounts, what's next for managed accounts, and decades-long 401k fee decline continues. Please let me know if I missed anything or if you'd like to comment. Otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you next week on 401k Real Talk.